Welcome to the channel. I'm Marty Owings. A subscriber, Berolina Strassman, recently suggested that they'd like to take a look at the gear I use, the tripod and the rest of the stuff I take into the field. So here's a look in detail at that gear and also a few extras that I take with me when I need to. Okay, let's start from left to right here. Some of these things are obviously optional and you don't have to bring them along. As a matter of fact, you can just bring a watercolor kit and a sketchbook and you're good. But if you want to go out and paint in the wild and you're curious about what I bring, this is basically the summary. So there's that lightweight aluminum table. Again, I don't always bring that, but sometimes it's handy to have, and I just throw it in the back of the truck and I'm good. I've got a rag there, just an old t-shirt. I've got a couple different umbrellas here. I'm just going to do the first one here. This is a long umbrella with an extension. They say it's windproof, but it is not. But it's got ventilation or vents for the air to come through if it's really windy. I find that it works best in very light winds or no wind at all. And yeah, so you have to decide for yourself. There's an old plastic water bottle I upcycled into a water container that I just hang off the side of my tripod. An extra clip, some mosquito spray if you're in the Midwest or somewhere where mosquitoes or bugs or budding flies are a nuisance. There's my Lockbee tool roll. I've done reviews on that. It's an excellent tool roll. As a matter of fact, the aluminum clip on it works perfect with my tripod. I'll show you that in the video. Then I've got my Schmincke watercolor kit. I've got a Ziploc bag full of gouache paints. I just put them in a Ziploc because I don't want them all over the place in my backpack. And there brings me to my backpack. That's an old JanSport. I've had it for years. Works great. If you can find one, a vintage one in good condition, pick it up. They're awesome. Very well made. Charlie Lee's sketch easel, pardon me, which is a very good easel, and I've reviewed that. I'll leave a link down in the description. And I also did a review on the Yugo portable sketch easel, or they call it portable pochade, but it's really a sketch easel, and it is awesome as well. And then I've got a pencil tin, which I painted the interior of. I painted it white and use it as a palette a la James Gurney, who has lots of videos on his paint kit and does the same thing. There's the very nice bracket or adapter which goes on the tripod and holds the larger umbrella or some other umbrella if you have one. Plus it's handy for other things, so I bring it along. There's my Manfrotto tripod, which is awesome. This one happens to be pretty heavy and it's heavy duty, but I like that because it's durable, it works well, and I never have any problems with it whatsoever. That is the smaller umbrella that I use. It doesn't have a round shape, which it's specifically made not to have. It's really good. It's not bad in the wind, although I'd say again, light wind to no wind is ideal for attaching umbrellas. If you really want to go the distance with some kind of light diffuser, James Gurney has videos on how to make a light diffuser for your setup. So other than that, I usually bring along a couple of sketchbooks or a couple of pieces of illustration board or some small heavy-duty watercolor paper that I can tape up to my sketch easel and use, or clip on with a clip. And then alternatively, I bring a small chair. I've got like a camping chair. It's a Hellenix, super lightweight chair, three-legged chair. It's nice. I also have a bigger one, which is much more comfortable but weighs a lot. Okay, I want to talk about the umbrella setup for a minute here. This acts as not only an umbrella but also a light diffuser, so that you're not getting direct light on your painting surface or sketchbook when you're working. And it's got an odd shape. It's elongated. Don't know if you can make that out or not, but this is a Versa XL brand umbrella. I picked it up on Amazon, links in the description below. But why I picked this up is because it has some different articulating points. So you can adjust it, push button here, which adjusts it in or out. You can up or down adjustments there. And then you can also rotate this thing by just turning this until it locks in, and you can rotate it, I think 360 degrees if you wanted to. And then once you get it where you want it, it just snaps in, which is very, very nice. It's very, because you often want to rotate this thing because it's not a round umbrella. Then it clamps to the tripod here. So don't be confused with this thing. That's for something else. That's a separate clamp. I'll show you that later. But it also has push button articulation here. So if you press that button, you can tilt in and out as well. So you got two different points of articulation on this umbrella, which is really nice. The inside is a nice gray, so diffuses the light really well. Pretty nice. Now the setup in the rain. So basically, this umbrella, bone dry in here. This is the other setup I have. This is a much larger umbrella, and it's got an extension on it as well. I can either remove that extension piece or this is what I use that larger clip, the larger bracket here for. This is specially made to hold on to the tripod and an umbrella, so I can use that here. It's got adjustments here and here, and it articulates in lots of different directions, so it's pretty handy. The thing I found with this umbrella, although it says it's windproof, sometimes this thing wants to take off with me and the pallet and everything else, so I've had more than a couple of little incidents with that just because it's so large. But if you're in a hot environment or it's raining or something, you're happy to have this along. So I've used it on a number of occasions where it's come in handy. It's still pretty new, and it's supposed to be like, this is made to look like carbon fiber, but I don't really think it is. I think it's just probably fiberglass. I tend to use the other umbrella a little bit more because it's a little bit more stable in the wind and a little bit smaller and more compact. So I won't load this out if and unless I know I'm going to use it. But yeah, it's a big one, and it covers a lot of area, which is very, very handy in the rain. And the rain won't get through in here. It's nice, and it is more coverage. But again, I sort of prefer the other umbrella actually, but this works just fine, and it's good to have a spare along if you're going to pack it in the car. If I was hiking, I would not bring two umbrellas, but this one works just fine. Stuck it right in the ground down there. Yeah, it'll sit there in the ground very nicely if you don't have if it's not a very windy day. Very handy in the rain or you know, sort of inclement weather, unless you're in heavy wind, and then I would give another try to something else, or just don't use an umbrella at all if you can avoid it, because it tends to want to take everything away with it. I keep my water bottle clipped here. This is pretty handy. It just sits on this piece on the tripod. And by the way, this tripod is a Manfrotto. It's a pretty nice one. A little heavy duty for what I use it for, but still I like to have a little bit more stable tripod, so this works well. Anyway, I clip it there. That works handy unless there's a super strong wind. That stays put. There's also a little hook here, and I'll show you what I use that for in a moment. So this is my Lockbee tool roll, and I've done an in-depth review on this and other Lockbee products in the past, but I wanted to show you something handy that I do in the field, and I use this clip right here. This is a really strong aluminum clip buckle, and so I basically just unroll the tool roll with everything in it, and there's this little clip on my tripod, goes right in there, and then my tool roll just hangs there really nicely. So I got everything I need right at my fingertips, and basically that's it. I mean, it's pretty easy to clip that on there. It stays on here, and when I'm done, I just take it off. Yep, I've got it clipped here with a small carabiner clip. Kind of stabilizes the whole tripod assembly. So yeah, that's pretty handy. Sometimes when it's windy, it doesn't always stay down, but for the most part, it keeps things stable in light winds. So I usually bring just the brushes I need. So if I need a couple flats and a round or something, I just bring them, and I can either set them there, or I have another clip that goes on the side of this Yugo pochade box that I can stick my brushes in as well, or lay them down, and or I can just put them in my Lockbee tool roll. The thing I like about this Yugo pochade box, or painter's, well, I won't call it a box, it's really a sketch easel, is this is really adjustable. So these are on super strong neodyne magnets. So I'm not even sure if I'm saying that word right, but it's on the really powerful magnets. So you can adjust these up and down to hold either a sketchbook or a really large, maybe an illustration board or a canvas or anything like that. One thing I do bring along though is a few clips. So just to keep the pages down, and in case I don't use these, I can just clip this to the box itself. And then, you know, they stick nicely to the magnets as well. So yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, that's one of the things I really like about this Yugo sketch easel. This sketch easel also has one other cool feature too. So if I forgot my palette for some reason, it has a palette surface. So this will surface here, right here, comes out. You can clean it, shake it off, turn it over, do whatever you want, put it back in, clip that back in, and then you're done. I want to take a quick look at Charlie Lee's sketch easel on this mount too. This is a Yugo, but I want to take a quick look because I do use Charlie Lee's sketch easel from time to time, and it works just great. So with Charlie's easel, you're going to find the same strong magnets. It's not going to have the adjustable arms on it to hold your sketchbook, but you can just clip on to Charlie's sketch easel here. It's really nice. It's well made. I did an in-depth review on it. I'll put a link in the description down below to that review, but it's an awesome sketch easel, which I use. So you can either put a regular like tin palette like I put on here, or you can put your sketch kit on there, or your watercolor kit. This is mine. So but yeah, it mounts really easy. It's just on a standard camera mount, and you can you can take this with you as well if you want to swap between the two. I tend to take just one with me because I pick which one I'm going to use, and then I take it. I don't want to pack extra stuff if I don't have to. Okay, let's talk about this little aluminum table here. It's a super light aluminum table. Folds up just like this. Weighs less than, I'd say, 4 pounds. You can strap this to a backpack with molly straps or a bungee cord, whatever you need. It's pretty easy to carry around, and setup is just this. That's it. So, and they weren't expensive. So I think I've had this thing for about a decade or so. Holds a lot of weight, and it's just handy to have along. Sometimes you just make things right, and this is one of those times. I'll try to provide a link in the description below for this particular table if I can find it, or one just like it. Now, a lot of what you're doing as far as gear is deciding what to take with you in terms of what you want to load out. Either if you're going by car, or you're walking, or you're riding a bike or motorcycle, anything like that, you have to decide how much weight you want to carry. Apart from this gear, what I often pack, or most often, is my filming gear. So I've got a couple of different setups for that. I use my iPhone quite a bit, but I also have a very nice Sony camera that I recently upgraded to, which is great. I retired my old Canon camera. It wasn't shooting video as well as they can now, so I got the new Sony, which was an investment, but a good one, and I'm really glad I got that camera. And then I have a couple other small backup cameras, a point and shoot, and a blogging camera, or vlogging camera, if you will. And then I have tripods for that stuff too. So it's a lot of gear, but again, if you're just going to sketch out of the back of your vehicle, or you're just going on location a short distance away, that's perfect. Now, if you want to be highly mobile, you're on a bicycle, you're on foot, you're on a motorcycle, some other transport that's not a car that you can pack up with stuff, then I suggest you eliminate quite a few things and just go with a lightweight tripod, a decent sketch easel. Either one of these is great, or you can make your own. And then bring some paints and maybe a backpack with some water in it, and you're good. I would also suggest the Lockbee tool roll, not just because I'm a Lockbee ambassador, but because they're rock solid and they work really well. So yeah, that's it. The gear laid out pretty much as it goes into the field with me. I'd say it's under 25 or 30 pounds worth of gear. So I'm not counting the heavy tripod, which weighs about 10 pounds itself, I think. 8 to 10 anyway. The rest of that stuff's pretty lightweight. Okay, if I pack everything up, this is the loadout. Basically got the umbrella, the backpack, and the tripod. Everything else is in the backpack. I didn't bring the table or the chair, but this is basically all I need.